Sometimes the most cutting-edge trends don't start where you might think. They aren't always on the big runways. Often they just sort of bubble up from these really vibrant cultural scenes.
That's so true. Like music scenes or street style, right? They can end up influencing high fashion years later. It's in those, dynamic spots where the real innovation often happens first.
Exactly. And that kind of ground-up, culture-led innovation, that's exactly where we're headed today. We're doing
Hmm.
a deep dive into a corner of the beauty world that's, well, proving to be incredibly influential and, frankly, pretty far ahead of the curve. K-pop-inspired nail trends.
And we're not just like guessing here. We're pulling insights straight from the manicurists who actually work with K-pop's biggest names. Think artists like Blackpink's Lisa and Jisoo. We've been digging into this recent article where these experts shared their predictions. It's basically a sneak peek at the nail trends they see defining 2025.
Okay, so our mission here is to really get into the why. Like, why are K-beauty nails gaining so much influence? What makes their approach so um, innovative? And then, yeah, we're going to walk through the 9 specific trends these top manicurists flagged, figure out what makes them pop and why people are calling them years ahead.
It's actually pretty fascinating, the level of artistry and sheer intention that goes into something that maybe seems like a small detail, but it clearly has a huge impact on the overall look.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So, starting off, according to the experts, people like Jin Soon Choi, Juan Alver, what is it that makes K-beauty nails so unique? So ahead of the game, what's the core idea?
Well, Jinsoon Choi summed up the vibe as effortless elegance with a playful twist. But it's not just about the design you see at the end, it really starts with the canvas itself.
The canvas, you mean the actual nail?
Exactly. A huge difference is this incredible focus on nail health and preparation before anything else. We're talking like next level cuticle care. It's meticulous, super precise, but also really gentle. And that creates this absolutely perfect, clean base.
Okay, so health and prep first,
Yeah.
building up from this pristine foundation.
Yes. And then you have the application technique. Especially for gel manicures, which are, really popular there. The article points out the gel layers are applied ultra thin, like really seamless. This gives the nail a naturally beautiful finish, almost like glass, without any of that bulkiness you sometimes get with thicker gels. It feels, well, weightless.
Right, right. So you get that perfect lasting finish, but the nail doesn't feel thick or like heavy. Okay, what else adds to this unique approach?
It's also about the creativity, definitely, but with this amazing attention to subtle detail, Juan Alver really emphasizes the precise placement of tiny accents, things like miniature crystals or delicate little droplets. It's not just sticking stuff on randomly. There's a real intentionality and consistency to it.
Intentionality and consistency, even in the smallest things. Okay, so it's like health, precision, and thoughtful, often subtle design all coming together. That paints a really clear picture of the foundation. Let's switch gears then and look at the specific trends they're predicting will be big. First one mentioned is soft maximalism. Sounds a bit like a contradiction.
It does, doesn't it? But I think that's part of the appeal. The description is hyper clean but hyper detailed.
Okay, hyper clean, hyper detailed. I'm intrigued. What does that actually look like?
Okay, picture those ultra sheer jelly nails, that translucent look. We'll talk more about those, but paired with really delicate 3D details. So tiny, tiny crystals, maybe small pearls, little charms.
Yeah.
It's maximalist because there's detail, but soft because the base is sheer and the add-ons are really petite and placed just so.
Ah, so not like big chunky hardware, but miniature, almost delicate accents. Still detailed though. The article mentions Sora Choi's look at the 2025 Met Gala. Sheer extensions, baby rhinestones.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. It's finding that balance.
Yeah.
Detailed enough to be really striking and feel very current, but pared back enough that it doesn't like overwhelm the nail or feel heavy. It's definitely a more wearable take on maximalist decoration. Which kind of level speaks more to you? Do you lean towards the bolder stuff or something more understated?
That soft maximalism is really interesting. It's a way to be elaborate without being, too much. Okay, what's another trend they see making waves?
All right, moving in a slightly different direction, the second trend is omakase nails.
Omakase, like when the chef chooses for you at a sushi place?
Exactly that idea. It's basically freestyle mismatched nails. So instead of one design across all 10 fingers, each nail is its own unique thing, a little sampler of different textures, patterns, maybe colors.
Oh, that sounds perfect for anyone who loves being creative, but maybe is also a little indecisive.
Totally. Juan Alver specifically mentioned this one, saying it'll have a big impact. Apparently, he's done these kinds of varied sets for Lisa, and she's known for pulling together diverse styles, right? It's all about embracing variety and just treating each nail like its own little canvas.
I can definitely see that catching on, especially for people who love to experiment.
Okay.
What's trend number 3?
Trend 3 is cat eye. Now, the cat eye polish effect itself, well, it isn't brand new, but Han Alver highlighted its renewed popularity. It's really coming back strong.
That's the one where you use the magnetic polish,
Yeah.
and the magnet makes that shimmering line, or like a diffused orb look.
That's the one, that really distinct kind of orb-looking texture. And its strength is really its versatility. It can just
Okay.
elevate a simple single-color look without needing complex art. Or it works beautifully layered under some of those delicate 3D bits we talked about with soft maximalism.
So it adds depth, texture, whether you're keeping it simple or going more detailed. Makes sense. Okay, how about trend number 4?
This next one is probably one of the most visually intuitive, and it's already quite popular, jelly nails.
Ah, yeah. The juicy see-through look. Love that.
Yes, exactly, like tinted candy or maybe a delicate glass sculpture right on your nails. The source even called it the sheer dress trend, but for your fingertips.
It definitely feels playful, and yeah, like the article said, oh, so summer-coated. How do you actually get that effect?
Well, mostly you use a specific type of polish called jelly polish. Gel versions often give the smoothest, most see-through finish, but you can kind of fake it with regular polish too. Like by adding just a tiny drop of color to a clear top coat. The whole point is getting that translucent, buildable color. Thinking about those jelly nails, does that kind of juicy, sheer vibe fit your style?
It's so simple, but really visually striking. Okay, what's trend number 5?
Number 5 moves away from intricate hand-painted art and focuses more on the polish effects themselves. Iridescent optics.
Okay, so that's about shimmer and shine then.
Precisely. The focus is on effects like pastel chromes and these iridescent washes of color. According to Jin-Soon Choi, this adds just a hint of futuristic shine to pretty much any single-color manicure.
Ooh, I like that idea. A subtle, almost otherworldly kind of sheen. Can you layer these effects?
Oh, absolutely. You could just swipe an iridescent polish over a pastel color for a soft glow. Or for something more dramatic, rub a chrome or iridescent powder over a contrasting base. You could even layer it over those jelly nails we just talked about for something really unique and eye-catching. Lots of possibilities.
Okay, so playing with light and finish to create different effects, subtle or bold. Got it. What's number 6 on their list?
Trend 6 brings us back towards the minimalist side of K-beauty nails. Gradient wash. These are sort of highlighted as an example of those subtle yet impressive K-beauty techniques.
Is that like an ombre effect? Fading colors?
It is, yeah, but often done in a very soft, diffused way. Sometimes they call them aura nails, depending on how the colors blend. It's all about these soft slips of color just melting into each other.
The source mentioned these are wearable, but also, supposedly, super easy to recreate. Is that right? Easy.
Well, Juan Alver confirms they're definitely wearable. He mentioned often using a neutral jelly color for a gradient over a nude base, like maybe a warm pink softly fading into white near the cuticle. It adds dimension to a simple look without needing complicated lines or shapes. You can blend a sheer jelly shade into an opaque color pretty easily for that effect.
Although, I do remember the article mentioning his commitment to Lisa's Coachella set.
Yeah.
That involved acrylics and significant patience for the gradient, so maybe easy is relative.
Huh, yeah, that's true. You can definitely take the technique to a much more sophisticated, time-consuming level if you want to push it.
Good point. Okay, trend number 7.
This one's really interesting. It kind of challenges the idea that nail art has to be loud or instantly visible. Invisible art.
Invisible art, like it's there, but you can't see it? How does that work?
Exactly. Or, well, it's not always obvious at first glance. This trend uses subtle designs like clear sculpted textures built right onto the nail, or maybe faint patterns that only really show up under certain lighting.
Oh, like a hidden surprise on your nail.
Precisely. Jin-Soon Choi apparently experimented with this, building up these clear sort of bubbles on Jisoo's nails. She called the look playful, subtle, but striking. The whole idea is that the art, whether it's just simple dots or more complex shapes in Klee gel, becomes eye-catching when the light hits it right. It creates texture or this fleeting pattern you wouldn't normally notice. Have you ever seen nails like that with a hidden element?
That's such a cool concept. Adds a layer of discovery. Okay, moving on to trend number 8.
Trend 8 is clean and natural. Now, obviously, this is a classic look everywhere, but the K-beauty take puts a strong emphasis on specific shapes and finishes to get a particularly fresh feel.
What kind of shapes are we talking about here?
The preference tends to be for short to medium natural shapes. Think soft squares or rounded almonds. They just give this youthful, really fresh appearance.
And often paired with sheer polish.
Usually, yeah,
Yeah.
a sheer polish to get that sort of well-coiffed or just effortlessly polished look. The article mentions Zizou often goes for this style. She prioritizes healthy nails and prefers that glowy, natural finish. Jin Soon Choi apparently got this look on Karina for a photo shoot with just one coat of a specific sheer shade. It resulted in that perfectly clean, camera-ready manicure. It's a style that never really goes wrong, right? Because it's all about enhancing natural beauty.
Makes total sense that even with all these creative trends that focus on beautiful, healthy, natural-looking nails is still fundamental. Okay, and finally, trend number 9.
The ninth trend is sheer syrup nails, and this one, it really ties back to that whole philosophy of K-beauty nails we talked about right at the beginning.
How so? How does it connect back?
Well, Jin Soon Choi stresses that a truly great manicure isn't just about how it looks right after you leave the salon, it's also about how it wears over time. It should enhance your natural nails, feel totally weightless, and just keep looking fresh and beautiful for days. Sheer syrup nails kind of embody this effortless, long-lasting appeal.
Okay, so what exactly are sheer syrup nails? What does that mean?
It really refers to the specific shades and the technique used.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd ask for colors like milky pinks, soft beige tones, maybe delicate lilacs. The syrup part comes from how the polish is often layered. You apply multiple thin coats to build up that beautiful, translucent, really dewy, almost glassy finish, like layering sheer syrup. The source says these colors and this specific finish, they're just everywhere right now in K-beauty.
Ah, okay, so it's that super glossy, healthy-looking finish combined with sheer buildable color. It really does capture that focus on weightlessness and enhancing the natural nail.
Exactly. It's that effortless elegance put into practice.
Wow, okay, so we've covered quite a range here.
Yeah.
From the detailed but wearable soft maximalism to the totally freestyle omakase, we explored textures like cat eye and iridescent optics, the juicy look of jelly nails, the subtle blend of gradient wash, found surprise in invisible art, appreciated the timeless clean and natural look, and then wrapped up with the effortlessly chic sheer syrup nails. That's an incredible spectrum.
It really is. It just showcases how K-beauty manicurists are constantly innovating, often playing with ideas that seem like opposites, like maximalism with softness or art that's invisible. They're really pushing boundaries.
And it all seems to circle back to that core approach we discussed.
Yeah.
Focusing on nail health first, applying polish with incredible precision in those thin layers, and bringing this unbound creativity, whether the final design is super bold or barely even there. These techniques and looks feel genuinely fresh and, yeah, really influential.
It definitely highlights just how much detail and real intentionality can be poured into even the smallest forms of self-expression.
That raises a fascinating point, actually. When you see this level of focus, this artistry, and this kind of trend setting happening in something as specific as nail art, what does that maybe tell us about the bigger picture, about personal expression of beauty today, especially in our super visual world? What aspects of these trends or the whole K-beauty approach to nails stand out most to you after diving into all this?